I fell about 5 weeks ago and it really hurt. Didn't break any bones, but I bruised my hip from my thigh up to the middle of my chest. Big bruise. 5 weeks later, bruise is gone, but the pain is still there in the hip. But it's okay, and I think I'll have a full recovery. But I want to share with you what happened and what I learned from this falling. Been riding motorcycles for 6 years. First bike I had was a 2008 Goldwing, put about 100,000 miles on it. Fell one time on that bike pretty hard up in Duck Creek, Utah. I was riding my Goldwing and just for the weekend from Bakersfield going to Las Vegas, Utah, and back for the weekend, just trying to put some miles on a bike as a new rider. It was really cold. I stayed in Zion. It rained that night. When I woke up, blue sky, but it was cold. It was in the teens, low 20s. And I took off riding up to Utah, and I'm crossing Duck Creek Village. I stopped in Duck Creek Village, and I realized that on the side of the road, it looks like there was frost on the side of the road. Not on the road, but on the side of the road. In hindsight, that was actually snow, but I'm an idiot and didn't know that was snow. I kept going to Duck Creek Village, up and down to Highway 15 by Cedar, whatever it's called. And I was going to get higher in altitude. The snow became in the middle of a two-lane track. So we had one road going east, one road going west, and between those two lanes, there was snow. Beautiful. I'm enjoying my life. I am not in a hurry. I'm not really going anywhere. I'm just enjoying riding this bike. But I was inexperienced. So as I kept going down the road, pretty soon in my lane, the tire tracks were clean, but between the tire tracks in my lane, there was snow. So I'm in a tire track. No problem. It's 2 feet wide. Well, as it kept going, that tire track began smaller and smaller and smaller. I should have stopped, turned around, but I thought, you know what? I'm almost at the top. It'll be okay. I got in ice, rode about ice for about really 300 yards. I think I did an excellent job, but it was an icy road. I could feel the bike sliding, and I'm scared to death. And finally, in a blink of an eye, I am on the ground on that bike. I slid for about 20 feet on my back, and I got up. I had zero injuries, zero stiffness, nothing. I don't remember the fall. It was literally less than a blink of an eye on the ground sliding. That was lesson learned, and a long story short, a car came around, hit my bike, destroyed it. It took 3 months to get it fixed before I can ride again. Anyway, then I bought this new bike about 7 months ago. It's a BMW 1250 GSA. I love it. Love riding it. I've put about 6,000 or 7,000 miles on it, about 2,500 miles in dirt. I want to ride the trails. I want to ride up in the fire roads and the two tracks and that kind of thing. So I'm trying to cram 20 years experience into 7 months because I'd like to do some of those BDRs next year. So I'm on a dirt road riding around on a Wednesday. And I went up there purposely because it rained the day before and I want to get experience riding in mud. So I took off riding, and beautiful again, not in a hurry, just want to experience this bike on a muddy road. But unfortunately, what I learned was that when it rains on a dirt road, the farm equipment, the tractors that go through this road will dig huge ruts. And ruts by themselves is not really a problem for me. I can negotiate them. I'm not scared of them. It's whatever. So I'm up in this mountain, probably around 6,000 feet, and it turned into ice, and they got snow. I said, hey, I'm turning around. This is no much fun. Good decision. I turn around, start coming back, and I'm really cruising about 25 miles an hour and really not in a hurry, not doing anything. The roads are wet, but not muddy, just wet. Damp, I would say, but really not a big deal. And ahead of me, about 50 yards ahead of me, was a coyote cross the road, and I've seen a lot of coyotes cross the roads. It's nothing. But most coyotes I've ever seen, almost every single coyote I've ever seen, have been really skinny, almost anemic, like they're going to die if they don't get a bite of something real fast. Well, this particular coyote that was crossing the road in front of me, about 50 yards ahead of me, was really heavy, was big. I go, man, this is a big coyote. He looks like he's full. That's great. Well, I watched this coyote go down the road. As my eyes left the road and went following that coyote, my bike went into about a 6-inch wide, 8-inch deep rut. It was about 10 yards long. I lost my balance. I fell on my hip going about 25 miles an hour. Fell left side, and it wasn't a blink of an eye. It was kind of a slow, but I felt it coming. Oh, I hit my hip so hard. I thought, oh, Lord, please don't let my hip break. It wasn't broke because I think I had some good padding on it. It helped out quite a bit. I think I might have got knocked out for about 3 or 4 seconds because when I stood up, I was really dizzy. Had to actually sit down on my fallen bike. I sat there for about 5 minutes. Finally, I got my senses about me, and I took a couple pictures, stood the bike up, and rode home. By the time I got home, an hour and a half later, I was in pain, man. I was in I was in pain. My hip hurt so bad, and the rest is history. But I haven't ridden but one time since. And here's the lesson I learned. The lesson I learned is that when you're riding, anytime you're riding, we all know this, but I kind of missed it. When you're riding your motorcycle, particularly on dirt or anywhere else, keep your eyes up, keep it on the road, and don't watch the coyotes. Focus on the road ahead of you. And we all know this. But I'd lost my eyesight, lost my concentration for just a few seconds. And man, I paid the price. The bike is fine. No one uses the bike. Just been up a little bit on the rider. Anyway, have a great Christmas. Thanks for listening. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.